Good evening and welcome to McCown Gymnasium HBC 25 basketball coverage on the air. It is the Warrior Club Holiday Tournament 2007, and tonight girls basketball action as the Winona Cotter Ramblers will take on the Superlarks of Grand Meadow High School. I'm Dave Williams. Joining me tonight is Devin Bowlin, former Winona Cotter point guard, now playing for the College of St. Ben's. And Devin, welcome to the broadcast. Glad you could join us in this holiday season. We look forward, now you've played with obviously with this Cotter team, and you know these girls, and you know the Cotter style of play. We don't know as much about Grand Meadow. What we do know is that they have a player by the name of Jessica Benson, who's a 5'11 junior who's having a terrific season.
I mean, Cotter, they have a lot of good players too, but their defense is really going to have to stop her. You know, she could do a lot of damage if our defense doesn't stop her.
Benson averaging around just under 20 points a game at 19.5 points per game over the course of this season. She's also averaging double figures in rebounds at 14.5 rebounds per game. And she has just been outstanding, coming off a 28-point performance just before the holiday break as the Superlarks were winners over Grand Meadow. They come in here tonight with a record of 7 wins, 2 losses. Now, Devin, the two teams do have one common opponent on the season, and that is Pine Island out of the HBL. Cotter defeated Pine Island pretty handily early in the season. In fact, I believe the first game of the season for the Ramblers. And Grand Meadow was beaten by 11 points on December 13th by that same Pine Island squad. So we don't know if that's going to be a herald of things to come. What do you look for tonight from the Ramblers? Obviously, when we talk about Benson for Grand Meadow, Jenny Gilbertson, who's headed to Kansas State, is off to a good start for Cotter.
Oh yeah, Cotter's going to come out strong with their full court press. Really look to push the ball, get the ball up the court, hit the post players, try to beat them inside.
Gilbertson, we mentioned, on the season has scored 126 total points, averaging 15.8 points per game on the season, and she is averaging just over, I should say, 7 rebounds per game, comparing that with Benson averaging 19.3 points per game and 14.6 rebounds per game. And you talked about Cotter having to put the clamps on Benson defensively. Benson also 31 assists, 27 block shots, and 49 steals on the year, so she's kind of been the one-woman wrecking crew for this Grand Meadow team. I don't believe anyone else for the Superlarks is in double figures in scoring. Cotter does have 2 players averaging in double figures in addition to Gilbertson, and that is senior Laura Erickson and junior Whitney Weisskopf. And Devin, Laura has been a nice compliment, as has Whitney, to Jenny Gilbertson's game.
Oh yes, they're both very good passers. Really look into Jenny, but Jenny will also look out to them. They both can create for themselves, and Whitney's a dead-eyed shooter if she can get on.
Now, you played point guard for the Ramblers, and your replacement at point guard this year, and she played obviously with you, sometimes the two of you on the court at the same time. Renee Pecorino, Jr., talk a little bit about her game and some of the different things that she brings to this team.
Renee is a very smart player. She won't force it if it's not there. She takes good care of the ball. She is developing her outside shot. She's very quick, very good on defense. She's a very good point guard for this team.
You see the starting lineups are being introduced here tonight. This is Grand Meadow and Cotter girls basketball, the opening game for these two teams in the Warrior Club Holiday Tournament. The winner of this game will play on Thursday night, and we'll take on St. Paul Johnson. And St. Paul Johnson, a winner easily earlier tonight against Plainview Elgin Millville. We mentioned Grand Meadow coming in 7-2 on the season, and Cotter at 6-2 overall this season. And I don't recall, did you play Grand Meadow at all during your time?
Nope, we did not.
First time matchup, I think, between these two schools, so it'll be interesting to see how that plays out. We'll give you the starting lineups quickly here tonight, as there have been a couple of changes from what we thought to see from Grand Meadow. We'll run through that. For the Superlarks, Bailey Gomer, a 5'5 junior, and Katie Simpkins, a 5'6 senior, start in the backcourt. The front court features the 5'11 junior Jessica Benson and 5'7 senior Katie Fallheiber and 5'8 junior Andrea Swanson for Grand Meadow. For the Ramblers tonight, Renee Pecorino starts at the point. She's a junior. Whitney Weisskopf, a junior as well, along with Courtney Dennis, a junior, stepping into that starting lineup for Cotter. Laura Erickson in the front court with Jenny Gilbertson, a pair of seniors and veteran players, good scorers for this team. You get a look at the Rambler bench as head coach Pat Bowlin and assistant coach Dan Pecorino go over some of the last-minute preparations here to get their team ready to take the court. The Superlarks out on the court already wearing the road white uniform with the purple trim, Cotter in the blue with the white trim. And here come both teams out on the floor. And we should be ready to go. Modest crowd here today. It's looking to fill up a little bit as things go along. The weather, of course, has been perhaps keeping a few people trying to snow once again here. But it's going to be Benson and Gilbertson, the two post players stepping in. And Gilbertson at 6'1" has a couple of inches in height over Benson. The Ramblers win the tap, and it's Erickson into the front court. She goes to Weiskup right away. Good defense. And Cotter will kick it back out. High-low game. Here's Gilbertson against the double team. And Jenny Gilbertson gets the Ramblers on the board first.
Cotter comes out right away with their press, hoping to get a steal on the first possession. And they got it. Courtney, good hands.
Dennis with the steal, flicks it ahead to Weiskup, and Weiskup with the finish. You mentioned that press right away. So much of the Cotter offense, they like to generate off of transition play and those turnovers.
Exactly, that's what they hope to get. Layups are always the easiest basket.
Well, at the other end, it's 2 points for Grand Meadow as the Superlarks are able to break the press that time, and Simpkins gets the basket. And here we have a foul going to be called as Erickson steps in along the baseline. It is going to be assessed against Grand Meadow's Andrea Swanson. Swanson picking up her first personal foul, first team foul against the Ramblers, or against the Superlarks, I should say. One of the things, Cotter had a tough loss right before the break to Rochester Leward. And one of the things I think that was problematic in that game from my standpoint was Cotter's struggles at the foul line.
Oh, yeah. That hurt him a lot in that game, especially down the stretch. Just couldn't make the free throws.
Erickson gets off to 1 of 2 start here tonight, 9 of 20 in that loss to Leward, a 1-point loss back before Christmas. And certainly I think something the Ramblers would like to improve on. Here's Benson, her first look at the basket. Her shot is off the mark, but Swanson there to tap in the rebound. Rebounding was another issue a little bit for Cotter in the early part of this season. I think something the coaches have emphasized. Gilbertson on the drive has that tipped away. It'll stay here. Pecorino will inbound on the baseline. Tries to lob it in for Gilbertson, tapped by Benson. Jenny comes up with it. Her layup attempt no good, and then a tie-up. I'm going to get a Jenny, I think, for a foul here.
Got to keep Jenny out of foul trouble. Cotter needs her on the defense and offensive end.
Perhaps one of the things that if there is a concern about Gilbertson's game early, I think she's averaging about 3-4 fouls a game.
Yeah.
Here she is.
She's aggressive, and that gets her sometimes.
Well, Gilbertson here with a steal and a layup. She now with 4 points on the night, 7-4. The Ramblers with the early lead. Another steal. This is Dennis. For Weiskup, jump shot on the way, no good. Rebound Dennis. Look at the hustle. And the Ramblers will kick it back up top and set the half court. Laura Erickson loses the handle on it. We'll track it down. Now Courtney Dennis comes over to corral the loose ball. Pecorino gets it back in her hands. On the left wing for Weiskup. Weiskup steps into the elbow, picks up her dribble. Swings it out of the weak side wing to Dennis. Inside Gilbertson. The turnaround is good.
Good find by Courtney Dennis to find her down there in the post.
And it's going to be another turnover here as Dennis, hustling over, makes the play. In for Grand Meadow, our first substitution of the night. This is Katie Leichman, a senior, checking in. Had thought to see her in the starting lineup, but a late scratch from the starting 5 will now get a chance early. Erickson goes short corner here. Gilbertson stepping in. Has that one blocked away. Not sure if that was Benson that got a hand on it. Well, we haven't heard from Benson much yet because Cotter's had the bulk of the possession in this game. Look at the hands of Courtney Dennis. Nearly gives it away. Here we'll have a jump ball as Erickson goes in for the tie-up. As she gets in there with Gomer. And that will be a giveaway. It'll be back to Grand Meadow. Inbound comes to Benson. And here come the Superlarks. Benson handling the ball in the open court. Nearly tipped away, but gets it ahead. It was a good pass. Had the defense of Gilbertson trailing in behind her. Gets it to Swanson for the finish. Here's Erickson, hook shot inside, won't drop. So this Benson can really handle the ball. We have not seen her before tonight. We've certainly heard about her. Swanson, though, is the hot hand on the scoring early. 6 points for Grand Meadow, and just like that, it's a 9-8 ball game. Devin, the Superlarks have broken that Rambler press now 2 straight possessions.
Cotter still stay in it, more than likely.
How about Gilbertson stepping outside for 3? Jenny Gilbertson steps outside. What makes her so dangerous is she can step outside and hit that 3-point shot.
She's got guard and post skills. She's hard to stop.
Well, checking in now for the Ramblers. We have Lauren Bowlin coming in and Nikki Byer. So the Ramblers will go to the bench for the first time. Here's Benson, shot off, gets her own rebound, leaves it short again, but again an offensive rebound for the Superlarks. Swanson's shot won't go, and finally corralling it is Gilbertson for the Ramblers. Trouble on the defensive boards that time, but Grand Meadow could not capitalize.
Nice take by Renee. Renee needs to look to do that more. Attack the basket as the point guard.
Very aggressive play. Here come the Superlarks the other way. Benson will put it on the floor, dribbles into the front court. Gomer swings this around. Here's the jump shot on the way from Benson. Hasn't been able to find the mark.
It's good to see the Cotter guards getting in there to get the rebounds. Can't let the post do all the work.
Lightman is going to pick up the foul. That's her second team foul. And now again, the Superlarks will go to the bench as the 6'1 junior Ashley Wilson will check into the game, and Swanson, the leading scorer thus far in this game, will head to the bench. Here's Pecorino, front court for the Ramblers. Finds Erickson, top of the arc. Ball over her head, now swings it for Bowlin. Now back to Erickson. You work with your sister much on the point guard skills?
Not a lot. Haven't been around enough.
Keeping busy with your own thing in college. Here's a foul inside. And this is going to be assessed, it looks like, against Fallhaber. And that'll be her first personal. Put Laura Erickson at the line. And Erickson hits on the first of 2 shots. Second upcoming. It had been a 1-point game, but Cotter has now bulged it back out to a 7-point advantage, make it 8. And back in now for the Superlarks is Katie Simpkins, the senior guard. And the Ramblers on the made free throws. Will he be able to get back into the press? Good pressure by Cotter once again. Here's a tap by Erickson, but save. Now front court, Benson with it, straddles the timeline, puts it on the ground, and that's going to be a double dribble. She carried, trying to cross over against the good defense of Pecorino.
Cotter did exactly what they wanted to do on the press that time. Make them turn over the ball at the half-court line.
I've noticed the Ramblers a lot of times very patient with the defense. The press, a lot of teams seem to, if you don't get that steal right away in that first third or so of the court, it's done, but it doesn't seem to be the Cotter philosophy.
With all the rotations Cotter has in their press, they're hoping to get the other team to throw a bad pass, travel, do something wrong to get the ball back.
What a basket by Gilbertson. Little runner on the baseline. And now a timeout is going to be taken. 32nd timeout taken by Grand Meadow. We'll keep it here. The Ramblers bulging to a 10-point lead at 18-8. And so far, other than a couple of possessions, Grand Meadow has had real difficulty with that Cotter press.
And Cotter, that's their bread and butter. They'll keep playing it. That's what they pride themselves on, is their defense, especially the full court press.
I recall, some years ago, I think, when Cotter, when your dad, Dan Bowlin, first came in here, we hadn't seen this style of pressing basketball much, particularly in the girls' high school game. Now, a lot of teams have tried to emulate it, and some with some success, but it's still, very much, as you said, the bread and butter of Cotter, and the real signature of the Ramblers. Real trademark.
It's the first thing everyone learns when they come into the Cotter program is the press.
Get ready to run. Out of the timeout now, Benson will take the inbound pass. She'll try and break the press with a long pass down court. Completes the pass, but the Ramblers back defensively, and the turnover as Gilbertson steals it. Back the other way now come the blue and white. Into the front court. Gilbertson at the top of the arc will feed Byer down low. Byer's shot partially blocked by Benson. And now back the other way comes Grand Meadow. Benson, nice little no-look pass off onto the baseline. They'll swing it back up top. Simpkins now down low. Benson by herself. And the easy turnaround, and that's the first points of the night for the leading scorer for Grand Meadow, Jessica Benson. At the other end, the jump shot on the way off the back of the rim, too strong, but Byer able to corral the rebound for the Ramblers, and so Cotter will get a second look here. In the half-court set, Erickson swings it. Bowlin, little head fake, dumps inside. Byer kicks it back out. Erickson, three-pointer on the way, is off the mark. Rebounded Benson on the weak side. Here's Pecorina nearly getting the steal from Benson. She'll have to play it into the front court for Simpkins. Simpkins lob inside, and the shot up and good for Wilson.
Cotter's struggling a little bit on defense right now, especially down in the post area.
Looks like some substitutes getting ready to come in for the Ramblers. Here's a throwaway. Weisskop's going to come back in. Dennis will come back in. And we'll get our first look of the evening at Sarah Grandy for the Ramblers. Also, Swanson comes back in for Grand Meadow. And she will be joined, see if they let Gomer in here. And Alex Swanson will come on as well. It's a little bit different look now for each team. Gilbertson stays on the floor for the Ramblers. Get an early test of her conditioning. Here's Wilson at the elbow. Wilson down low for Andrea Swanson. Her shot is good, the foul. Well, Andrea Swanson has been the go-to player with 8 points now for Grand Meadow. Something of a surprise, but the Ramblers have put the clamps on Benson for the most part, and somebody else has needed to step up, and it has been Swanson. Dennis picking up her first foul, and Swanson's shot on the way is good. Three-point game we're back to now. The Ramblers had a 10-point edge going to that timeout, but got Grand Meadow with a steal on a 5-0 run here. Superlarks into the front court. This is Alex Swanson. Now Benson, three-pointer on the way. This is off the mark. Tapped to the rebound, and Courtney Dennis comes away with it. She'll outlet to Pecorina. Pass down low for Weisskop. Weisskop does well to keep her balance there. Now Grandy, now Dennis. Gilbertson. Outside Dennis with a three-point shot. We don't see a lot of shooting out of Courtney Dennis. Picked a good time to get going with that one.
Yeah, Courtney came up big right there. Expect her to keep shooting from the outside. She's a good shooter.
How important is it to get your confidence early on, especially when you're a player is maybe not the first or second option in the offense?
Exactly. You know, if you can hit your first couple of shots, you know, you got the confidence in yourself. Your teammates have confidence in you. You're going to get the ball a lot more.
Here's a lob pass on the inbound down low. Nearly's taken away. Now you got to scrap for the loose ball. Comes out of there. Grandy with it for the Ramblers. And now Pecorina coming back to collect the ball. Here comes Cotter. Pecorina front court. Dishes off for Weisskop. Spot up three is off the mark. Rebound comes to Gilbertson. Gilbertson will go right back up with it. A little hook shot won't fall. That could be just some tired legs. As Benson rebounds for Grand Meadow. Here's a fast break the other way. Alex Swanson leaves it short. And Cotter on the boards. Here's Pecorina leading a 3-on-1. Feeds Weisskop, but it's blocked by Benson.
Saw that one from far away. It's a nice block.
Benson's got kind of this long, lean frame. It seems like it would be really conducive to blocking a lot of shots, and she's done that this year. I think Gilbertson's going to get her first rest of the evening here. Inbound to Laura Erickson, just back into the game. Kicks it back out, Pecorina. Trying to reverse direction here. Now Dennis. Dennis will spot up. Her shot is off the mark. And a battle for the rebound. Swanson, Andrea Swanson comes away with it. Here comes Grand Meadow on the break. Pass basket good at the other end for Gomer. And now you got a 21-17 ball game. Looks like Grand Meadow's plan is to get that defensive rebound and just have two guards outletting right away. Weisskop's three-pointer on the way is good.
Whitney taking that shot just cleared up the open look for the post as well. Now they got to honor Whitney as a shooter. Make that 2-3 zone extend out farther.
In the front court, ball tapped away. This is going to be Grand Meadow ball here. 8:33 remaining in the first half. Ramblers up 24-17. Wilson's shot is short. Byer comes away with the rebound. She feeds it to Pecorino. Here comes Pecorino into the front court. Dennis reverses it to Weiskop. Guarded by Benson in the low end of that zone. At the elbow now is Erickson. Her jump shot on the way is off the mark, and Benson up to get the rebound. Benson will outlet. Here's a 2-on-1 as Gomer, but back defensively is Pecorino to cut that off. Swanson and Gomer. Jump shot baseline, no good. And the rebound for Courtney Dennis. Ramblers doing a good job on the defensive boards. Weiskop spot up three is good.
Good job by Renee by finding her right away. Getting Whitney right where she likes to shoot it.
Back to a 10-point edge now for the Ramblers. And Gilbertson is getting ready to check back into the Cotter lineup. Into the front court now. Down low, Benson. Benson against Erickson. And just 4 points on the night for the leading scorer for Grand Meadow, Jessica Benson. Front court, Weiskop. Look how quickly Benson getting back defensively to cut that three off. Cotter with good patience. Here's Weiskop. Her shot off.
Good rebound by Courtney.
Once again, Courtney Dennis steps up. 5 points on the night for the junior guard. Coming to get that offensive rebound, and Cotter back in the press here. You got a whistle and a travel going to be called on Benson as she tried to get out of trouble. Host of substitutions coming back in for each team. Gilbertson.
Renee and Whitney a rest. Get their legs fresh, especially Whitney on the outside.
You go with two posts here, really, in Gilbertson and Byer.
That'll be good against this 2-3 zone. Get the high-low post.
Byer has a get away from her there. Perhaps just getting thinking a little ahead of herself. Certainly, you know from experience, Cotter tends to see a lot of zone.
Yep. A lot more zone than man, which is, it's hard to play because in practice Cotter is a straight man, so, you know, playing against the zone isn't always what happens in practice.
Yeah, well, it's hard to practice against players who are not used to playing.
Exactly.
You can't just say, okay, go play a zone and expect it's going to exactly duplicate. At the other end, here's Erickson's shot off the mark and a whistle. And we'll have a foul called, this one against the Ramblers. And it's going to be against Courtney Dennis. That'll be her second. Comes with 6:27 to play in the half. Simpkins front court. Swanson picks up her dribble up high. Down low looking for Benson. Benson gets around Gilbertson's defense and puts it in. 6 points now for Benson. Dennis in the front court for the Ramblers. Tempo picks up Byer, and Nikki Byer has her first points of the night. And a nice little feed from Courtney Dennis. 10-point game. Here's Benson looking to cut into that lead. Feeds it off, baseline jump shot on the way is no good from Leichnam. But there is a foul. Looks like it's going to be against Jenny Gilbertson. That'll be the second foul on Gilbertson. We'll see Ashley Wilson coming back in for Grand Meadow, and Weiskop back in now for Gilbertson. I think that second foul probably had something to do with that substitution.
I think a lot of it had to do with that.
Now Weiskop right away getting the rebound on the missed shot. Now Lauren Bowlin into the front court. Bowlin for Weiskop on that left wing where she has found her shooting touch. Now back to Dennis on the right side. Her shot is too strong. Bowlin there to get the rebound. Weiskop bounce pass. Free throw line now at the elbow is Byer. Now Bowlin, top of the arc. Three-point shot, good. Well, the Ramblers really lighting it up from outside in this game. You had Gilbertson early doing the damage, and now it's been the perimeter shooting.
They make Grand Meadow think twice about that 2-3 zone.
Here's Bowlin with the steal and feeds it ahead to Erickson for the easy two. And I think twice is exactly what's about to happen right now. Timeout is taken by Grand Meadow. We'll keep it here. It is a 30-second timeout. But, yeah, you mentioned trying to get the team out of the zone. You think you'll see if Grand Meadow can get pulled out of that 2-3 by the outside shooting.
I mean, the outside shooting, Cotter's been really on. Grand Meadow wants to take the chance and maybe see if they'll go cold the rest of this half or second half. But, right now it doesn't look that way.
Of course, the danger of getting out of that zone potentially is to start getting the Cotter post going to work. Although Gilbertson has been on the bench with 2 fouls early, not sure how long she'll stay there. Benson making sure to get back in for Grand Meadow. They're not going to let her in. But she'd gotten checked in time. So Benson stays at the table. Too late apparently in the check-in. So here comes Grand Meadow out of the timeout against the Rambler press, and a turnover right away. Of course, the other way you turn it over is not just steals, but forcing that bad pass.
Exactly.
Wilson comes out now as Benson checks back in. Benson has 6 points on the night, averaging just over 19 per game. Pecorino front court, Bowlin on the near side. Bounce pass down low, Byer underneath. Byer loses the handle and now out of bounds, but tapped away and last touched by Fallhaber. And that will be Cotter ball underneath. 4:46 to play in this opening half. Inbound Dennis. Now Bowlin to Weisskopf. Again, offensive foul, I think it looks like here. Dennis trying to set a screen for the shooter.
Yeah, she moved a little bit on that one.
Bad news for the Ramblers. That's actually the 3rd personal foul now on Courtney Dennis, who has played well early. And so we're going to get our first look tonight for the Ramblers at Sarah Wassinger, a junior. And she will come on and take the place of Courtney Dennis. Benson in the front court, guarded by Wassinger. Grand Meadow will work it around. Fallhaber with it. Now finds Gomer. Here's a steal, Lauren Bowlin. Bowlin in with it. And Bowlin with the layup at the other end. 5 points for Bowlin off the bench. Nearly a steal by Weisskopf, but she's going to get called for the reach, playing a little bit from behind. First foul on Weisskopf. It is, I believe, the 6th team foul against the Ramblers. Laura Erickson will check back in now, and she will take Nikki Byer's place. There's some good young talent coming up for this Cotter. Byer's a freshman. Your sister Lauren's a freshman.
Yeah, there's no freshman basketball team this year. There's only 3 freshmen in the program.
They're all pretty good.
They all are pretty good.
And I believe you're thinking Nicole Kirkvold, the other, was out with injury tonight. We won't see her. Turnaround jump shot, Andrea Swanson's off the mark. Rebound, Fallhaber won't go. Scrap for the rebound as Benson comes in to tie up with Weisskopf. And that's going to be a held ball, and that will favor the possession arrow favoring the Ramblers. Pecorino will just walk it up the court. Inside 4 minutes to play here. Wassinger in the right wing now finds Erickson popping out. Smaller lineup on the floor now for Cotter. Gilbertson on the bench with 2 fouls. Dennis, the only other Rambler player in foul trouble, with 3. Oh, nearly a turnover there. Erickson does well to save it and then dribbles into a double team, but I think she's going to get bailed out here with a foul.
She kind of dribbled with nowhere to go, but Grand Meadow helped her out by fouling her.
That was on Benson, her first foul Inbound for Wassinger. Now Bowlin. The game has kind of quieted down a little bit here. Erickson, elbow jump shot, no good. Bowlin rebound in the lane. Tries to feed underneath the Weisskopf. Shot blocked. And then the second doesn't go. And Benson clears it for Grand Meadow. Into the front court now. Gomer with it. Trying to force a pass into Benson, and a foul is going to be called, it looks like, on Pecorino. Renee Pecorino will pick up her first personal foul. That is the 7th team foul on the Ramblers, and so we have Benson at the line shooting 1 and 1. And Benson can't hit the front end of the 1 and 1. Scramble for the rebound. Wassinger can't come away with it. And left short. Now Benson with the follow. It won't go. Rebound tapped up, still alive, and finally Pecorino comes away with it for Cotter. Grand Meadow's left a lot of points on the floor here on those second chance and third chances that are missed.
Exactly. Cotter does a good job getting the ball back. Sarah Wassinger,
What can we
another
say?
good shooter who hasn't seen a lot of playing time on varsity, but with that shooting, she will be.
Making the most of it here, and her opportunity to play tonight. Hits the three-pointer. A 20-point lead now for the Ramblers. Swanson at the other end has been quiet after her hot start. Misses, but Grand Meadow with the rebound. Gomer's shot no good. Benson put back is off the mark, and the rebound finally cleared by Pecorino. Here comes Renee Pecorino. Into the front court, and a whistle, and we're going to have a double dribble. Not sure I saw it, but somebody did. Gilbertson will come back in. Wassinger will go to the bench. Also back in for Grand Meadow is Alex Swanson, the sophomore. Bailey Gomer has it nearly tied up by Weisskopf. Now on the ground, rolls over, and that's going to be a travel. Minute 50 to play here, and Cotter has quietly but surely taken control of the game. It hasn't been too flashy, but it's been very, very steady for the Ramblers, and a lot of it has had to do with the outside shooting, although Weisskopf misses here.
Another thing that's helping them out is Grand Meadow is missing those short putbacks, but second half those might fall. Cotter needs to pick up the defense on the boxing out, getting those rebounds.
So you still think the defensive rebounding situation might be something addressed at halftime?
Oh, I'm sure it will be.
Yeah, because there have been a lot of second and third chances, and you're right, Grand Meadow just not able to get them in the hoop. Grandy back in for the Ramblers. Pecorino will just walk this up the floor. No hurry here with a 20-point lead. Erickson's skip pass is picked off by Benson, who read that well. A little 2-on-1. Benson feeds Alex Swanson. Her shot missed, and then Benson is fouled on the putback attempt, and she will go to the line. The foul is on Gilbertson.
That was a risk putting her back in with 2 or 2.5 minutes left. Hoping she wouldn't pick up that foul, went a little too aggressively on that.
It's the third foul on Gilbertson. She'll go to the bench right now. Nikki Byer will come back in. Minute 8 to play. Maybe the risk a little softened by a 20-point lead, but yeah, you're right, a risk nonetheless. A little short here. But do you think that's maybe something that players have to learn to deal with, is knowing their foul situation and knowing the appropriate risk to take?
Now, if you want to get back in there, you can't foul. Got to be smart on defense and offense.
Into the front court, Alex Swanson shot off the mark. Rebound by Simpkins. She'll dribble it back up to the top of the arc. Now Simpkins steps in, and she's got it knocked away, but a foul is going to be called, and that's going to put Simpkins at the line to shoot 1 and 1. We'll see if they get Pecorino here for it. They do. Second personal on Renee Pecorino. And she will come to the bench with 39 seconds to play in the opening half, and she'll be replaced by Whitney Weisskopf. Simpkins at the line shooting 1 and 1, and she does hit the front end. Have not seen Grand Meadow at the line too much tonight. Actually, haven't seen either team at the line too much.
Which is probably a good thing. Don't want to slow down the game more with all the fouls.
Wait till the second half. So I always notice it picks up when the legs start to get tired in the second half and so on.
Yep.
Simpkins hits both ends on that one-on-one. And the Ramblers come back into the front court. 27 seconds to play here in the opening half. Wisecup, head fake, steps in, gets a screen from Byer. Now feeds Lauren Bowlin. Bowlin in the lane, tries to force it down low to Byer and take it away. Back the other way comes Benson. Benson will slow it up at midcourt. And now set the offense up. Now she'll put it on the floor and drive. And a little scoop shot on the way is just in and out of the cylinder for Benson, who has struggled to get going offensively tonight. Into the front court is Lauren Bowlin. Shot on the way at the horn is no good, and we hit halftime with your score. Ramblers 41, Grand Meadow Superlarks 24. We'll take a break here on HBC. We'll be back with second half action in about 8 minutes. Thanks.
Hi, Harry.
I'd like to pay my bill.
No meeting today. Hi, Harry. Hey, Harry. Hi, Harry. Bye. Here, I've got the door. Hi, Harry.
Thanks.
Of your first half statistics. No player in foul trouble for the Superlarks. With 2 points, Ashley Wilson. 2 points for Bailey Gomer. 4 points for Katie Simpkins. With 7 points, Jessica Benson. And Andrea Swanson, the high point player for the Superlarks, with 9 points. Ramblers have 2 players in foul trouble. Courtney Dennis with 3 and Jenny Gilbertson with 3. 2 points for Renee Pecorino. 2 points for Nikki Byer. With 3 points, Sarah Wassinger. 5 points for Laura Erickson. 5 points for Courtney Dennis. 5 points for Lauren Bowlin. With 8 points, Whitney Weiskamp. And a high point player at halftime with 11 points, Jenny Gilbertson.
Aye, Captain, permission to come aboard.
Permission granted. State ye business.
Yar!
Arr!
Yar!
Yar!
Arr!
Arr! Arr! Yar?
Yar! Aye, and after our little chat, I think I'd be adding phone service to me cable bill.
2 o'clock service call, okay, you scallywag?
Aye, until we parley again.
Hey, Mrs. C, what's shaking, dude?
Dude!
And we're back here at McCown Gymnasium, and it's halftime with the Cotter Ramblers leading Grand Meadow 41-24. This is the Warrior Club Holiday Tournament on HBC. Dave Williams and Devin Bowlin with you. And Devin, pretty impressive first half from the Ramblers. They did it early with Jenny Gilbertson inside, and then a variety of players taking over from outside the perimeter against the Grand Meadow zone.
So what you like to see is the offense spread out, everyone getting in, show them what they can do, especially with the young Cotter team who they don't have a lot of experience other than, the 4 out there right now. I mean, it's nice. It builds their confidence, helping throughout the rest of the year.
11 points for Gilbertson to lead all scorers in the game. Whitney Wisecup has 8 points, including a pair of 3-pointers, and then 5 points each from Courtney Dennis, Laura Erickson, and Lauren Bowlin on the night. So a real balanced scoring attack for the Ramblers. Grand Meadow will open with the ball here in an effort to try and get back into this one, trailing 41-24 as we come out of halftime. Lob pass down low for Benson. She's fouled right away, and it's going to be Erickson picking up the foul. Her first of the night.
Oh, that was on Gilbertson.
Was it?
I called it on Gilbertson.
I thought sure Laura, but yeah, good eyes. Devin picks up fourth foul on Gilbertson, so that's probably not something you want to see. Now, Pat Bowlin coming up here, and he's asking who the foul was on. And being sent back to the bench, I think he saw the same thing I thought I saw, which was Laura being the player around. At any rate, Benson hits the foul shot. Jump shot at the other end is no good. Rebound on the weak side, Dennis. Here's Wisecup inside. She's fouled on her way to the basket. So Whitney Wisecup will get to the line. And she'll shoot a pair. Nikki Byer is ready to check back into the Rambler lineup. We would assume for Gilbertson, who's got 4 fouls. We talked a little bit in the first half that if there's one problem Jenny's had this season early, it's staying out of foul trouble.
That's exactly right. Even, this game, it's not as close. Even though she's not, needed right now, she still needs to be on the court.
Important, would you say, to have reinforced good habits even in games where maybe, as you said, the score is not as close? Exactly.
You always got to practice. You play every game like you're going to play every other game no matter what the score.
Down low, kind of a wild shot thrown up that time by Alex Swanson, missed, and a rebound comes to Pecorino. Renee Pecorino will take it all the way. Her shot no good. Erickson in the foul, and Laura Erickson is good with that. And so the Ramblers get off to a quick start here. Up 20 points. Here's a steal by Wisecup at midcourt. Little trap, and Wisecup is in, and Wisecup scores. We got a 47-25 ball game. Into the front court, Benson. Benson goes coast to coast with it. Benson quiet in the first half of this game, but with just 6 points, but has scored 4 coming out of halftime, 10 now in the game. Averaging 19 a game, just over 19 a game. Wisecup drives in, picks up her dribble. Back outside Byer. Byer trying to get clear at the top of the arc. Now finds Erickson. Shot on the way. That's a 2.
Eric's going to come up big this second half. If Jenny's out, they're going to look to Laura a lot to score and on the defensive end.
A little smile on her face coming back there as Benson nearly got past her defensively. If you're Grand Meadow, do you think you try and get that ball to Benson as much as you can?
Exactly, especially with the height difference. I mean, Cotter's going to be small the rest of the game with Jenny out, so, look to Benson for the post-up and the outside.
Nice little pass inside to Wisecup, but Benson there defensively. Gets a tip on that ball. Enough to call it a block. Now you get a little trap here. This is a bad situation that Grand Meadow finds themselves in. Swanson nearly an offensive foul. But here's Benson with the three. So Benson was quiet first half, but has exploded out of the blocks here in the second half. And here's a steal at the other end. The sense you can hear the Grand Meadow coaching staff saying go off that turnover. Grand Meadow looks tired.
Yeah, they do. Cotter does too, though. It's
both teams.
Both teams. They've had a lot of time off with the holidays and coming back and playing this game. It's going to show a lot in the second half.
Could be too much tryptophan still from the turkey. Ball knocked away here. We'll keep it on this end of the floor. Bailey Gomer will check back in for Grand Meadow, and Lauren Bowlin will come back in for the Ramblers. 49-30, Cotter with the lead. Inbounds pass comes right to Benson. Her shot is off the mark. Pecorino.
Good box out by Pecorino.
He was. I thought Gomer would go over the back of her there. Pecorino in the front court. Yeah, she looks tired too. Ramblers will set up and run the offense here in the half court. Patient. Wisecup, little head fake, steps in the lane. Runner on the way is good off the glass. Boy, Whitney Wisecup's had a big night. 16 points, or excuse me, 14 points in the night for Wisecup. Here's Benson, good ball movement. Swanson's shot is good. Andrea Swanson had gotten off to a hot start with 8 quick points in the first half for Grand Meadow. Has been quiet since. Picks up 2 there. Meyer turnaround shot won't go. Benson clears the glass. Here comes Grand Meadow with a chance to break out. Ahead for Swanson. Swanson has it tipped away from Pecorino coming back. It'll stay Grand Meadow ball, but a nice defensive play by the Ramblers to prevent the easy layup. 13:55 to play here in the game. Swanson will inbound to the baseline, comes up high for Benson. Benson will feed inside to Gomer, a whistle and a foul. That's going to be a hold against the Ramblers. It looked like Pecorino getting a hand on Gomer as she cut. Be the third on Pecorino. How hard is it sometimes in games like this, as we see Benson with a nice little move to the basket, to keep your focus? We talked about having to play every game like you'd play any other game. Is there a danger sometimes coming out of halftime when you've got that big lead that you might get a little lackadaisical?
Yeah, there is, especially on the defensive end. You know, if your offense is on, you don't think your defense is as important, but timeout here is probably a good timeout. Get the team focused back on, you know, what they need to do to finish off this game.
Ramblers take a 30-second timeout. We'll keep it here. And I imagine you've been in this huddle, certainly, and you've heard this conversation, that maybe is the gist of the conversation, which is, hey, we need to step up the effort and keep doing what we do.
Exactly. You know, Grand Meadow, they're not going to give up till the end of the game, and Cotter can't either. Both teams are going to fight hard for the next 13 and a half minutes.
It's a 17-point game right now, but that's less than it was. And so Cotter leading by as many as 20-plus in this game. And Grand Meadow kind of chipping away. And, of course, Jenny Gilbertson on the Rambler bench with 4 fouls. Pecorino just picked up her 3rd. Courtney Dennis has 3 fouls as well. So fouls have definitely been a bit of an issue for the Ramblers. Cotter with a chance to press if they want to coming out of this timeout. Looks more like we'll see a half-court trap here. Superlarks get it into the front court. Benson with it. Now for Gomer. Bailey Gomer up high. Superlarks swinging around. Benson has it tipped away inside as Fallhaber trying to get it into her. And Wisecup was there defensively. Swanson to inbound on the baseline. Feeds Benson up top. Jump shot on the way from three-point range is good for Benson. She's had a big second half in this game. 18 points now for Benson, nearing her season scoring average. And And definitely Grand Meadow trying to get a little bit of a run together. Well, jump stop inside. Pecorino trying to stop that run. She picks up 2. 4 points now of the night for Renee Pecorino. You mentioned wanting to see Pecorino be aggressive to the basket. We saw it there.
Exactly. She keeps doing that. She's quick enough. She can get by people. She's got to get in there and finish those layups.
Couple of chances missed at the other end for Grand Meadow. Weiskup clearing the boards for the Ramblers and coming back the other way. Pecorino front court. Leaves it for Weiskup. Now Erickson. You know, the winner of this game doesn't get much of a break tomorrow. You got a scrambling St. Paul Johnson team waiting. Turnover here. Benson feeds it for Gomer. Now it headed to the front court. Fallhaber's pass inside, tipped away. Trying to get that, check that Leichman's pass, chipped away. Trying to feed it inside. It'll be Grand Meadow ball. Substitution, Sarah Grandy will come in for the Ramblers. She'll take the place of Nikki Byer. So definitely a smaller lineup on the floor now with the freshman Byer out.
Smaller but quicker, and a lot of good shooters out there for Cotter.
Nearly a carry. Gomer steps in. She can't hit the shot. Gets her own rebound. Now taps it back up and nearly throws it away. Good hustle by Grand Meadow to keep the ball alive. Gomer will try and reset things. Here's Benson. Benson's had a big second half in this game. Scoring 12 points after halftime. This is off a Cotter player, I believe. Foot race to the ball. Grandy comes away with it. Taps it ahead for Erickson, and Erickson with the putback.
Great hustle by Sarah Grandy to go get that ball and get it up to Erickson.
6 points in the second half for Erickson. 13 on the game. Check that 11 on the game, and here at the other end.
Benson's really come on this half.
Yeah, she is. A fire has been lit under. Do you think she was maybe trying to do too much all over the floor in the first half, and her offensive game suffered?
Could have been, you know, especially right away. She probably knew they were going to focus on her. Second half, she's more ready to play.
I imagine, too, though Gilbertson being out of the game has opened some things up. Benson at 5'11", a bit of a size mismatch for the Ramblers. Swanson picks up the foul here. That'll put Erickson at the line. She'll shoot a couple. It's the first of 2, so the foul shooting's been a little better. Swanson will come out, as will Leichnam. Wilson checks back in for Grand Meadow. Erickson's second shot on the way is all net. Erickson now, I've got her at 5 of 6 from the foul line tonight. A pretty good shooting clip for the senior. Here's a foul. Lauren Bowlin coming in a little late, looking for that steal. She had visions of an easy 2 points going the other way, and the timing was just off as she stepped in to try and take that away from Gomer. Benson now with 20 points on the night to lead all scorers in this game. And Benson looks to add to that total on the inbound. Can't hit the layup. And the rebound, Sarah Grandy. There's some easy points left on the floor there for the Superlarks.
Good pressure by Dennis, though, not to foul her, but still give that pressure.
Loose ball at the other end. Wilson comes away with it. And here comes Grand Meadow. Benson has it in her hands. Benson into the front court. Looks for a screen, gets it. Now for Gomer. Gomer in the right wing, guarded by Bowlin. Cross court, Fallhaber down low, Wilson. Wilson, turn around, jump shot won't go. Well, set shot won't go, I should say. No secret in Wilson's game. Get down in the low block. Throw it up off the glass. We approach the 10-minute mark. Pecorino into the front court. Now for Dennis. Jump shot on the way is in and out of the cylinder, and Benson clears the board. You can tell that definitely two tired teams, both ends of the floor. The shots are not falling. Defensively, the teams look a little fatigued. Here's Benson, nice feed inside. Benson with 22 now on the night. I believe her season high is 28.
She could break that tonight.
She could. I think almost everything's going to go through her. Here's a throwaway. Grandy Trying to dump it down into the low block to Erickson. And now here comes Jenny Gilbertson back into the game. She's got 4 fouls on her. 9:35 to play. And Gilbertson back on the floor with 4 fouls. Gilbertson had 11 points at halftime, has not scored in the second half. They're picking up a couple of quick fouls. Or picking up her 4th, I should say, quickly. Wilson put back is good. Pecorino in the front court. Here's Erickson. Erickson head fake. Swings it out of the wing for Dennis. Grand Meadow slowly chipping away at this Cotter lead. Gilbertson against a double team. Puts up a desperation shot and has it knocked away. And so the Superlocks will get the ball back here. Now down just 14. And Grand Meadow does Cotter a favor and throws it right away on the return.
Different look of the press there, a little bit more of a zone look, but still the same Cotter press.
We've seen a couple of different looks tonight.
It's the same press, but I think, it just gives them, it's a little easier if you know exactly where you are instead of finding your girl on the fly.
Certainly fools the other team. They come out thinking, oh, this is different. We haven't seen this.
Exactly.
Ball is tipped away, but that was last touch by Gilbertson. Jenny's got a look of frustration on her face right now. Sure not happy to be sitting. Not happy with the way things have gone in the last 2 offensive possessions. Here's Pecorino with a steal. Has it tipped right back, though, from Benson, who's so active. Into the front court, Gomer. Will pull it up against pressure now and try and set up the Grand Meadow offense. Benson in the wing. Down low, Wilson. Tipped away by Gilbertson. Lauren Bowlin front court. Bowlin will take this one coast to coast and lay it in. That looks familiar to people sitting here at the table. Grand Meadow's seen enough of that. They sense they had something positive going, but it has not worked out the last couple of possessions, and the Superlarks look kind of tired. 8:19 to play. A timeout, full timeout, taken here by Grand Meadow. With 8:19 to play, 59-43. Cotter with the lead. We'll keep it here at the gym. So you look ahead to tomorrow night when we will have the winner. If Cotter holds on to win this game, and right now, despite the sloppy play in the second half, still Cotter in control of things at 59-43. It will be St. Paul Johnson. Now, you played against Johnson last year. They are a scrambling team. They don't have a lot of height, but they're very athletic, and they come at you all the time, and they can be very patient in their half-court set.
They can, and that could be, Cotter's going to be just as aggressive, but got to be smart as well. I remember last year we had a big lead, and then we let them come back. I think it ended up being a 5-point game. Just too close for comfort, and
right.
They're not going to give up. They're very athletic, got good shooters, and they'll take it right at them.
That is an 8 o'clock tip, I believe, on Thursday night. A championship game in this bracket. Plainview Elgin Millville was on the short end of that score against St. Paul Johnson earlier, and they will take on the loser of this game tonight. Benson off the inbound, almost lets herself get trapped at half court. Gomer comes back to bail her out. Now Grand Meadow looking to swing the ball around down low. Benson steps in, and Benson finishes. And what a second half Jessica Benson is having.
Teammates are doing a really nice job feeding her the ball right where she can get to the basket.
She's got 24. Here's Weiskup at the other end, and what a night Whitney Weiskup has had. She has really stepped up tonight for the Ramblers. Has played well, averaging 11 points a game this season. Really a turnover in the back court. That one just got away from Simpkins. Here's Benson. Her shot off the mark. Rebound kept alive by Swanson, but then there's Weiskup to steal it away. And a foul going to be called. Weiskup with 16 points on the night. And the foul, it looks like, is going to be on Swanson. I believe that is her 4th foul. That'll get Wilson off the bench for Grand Meadow. Swanson's certainly a player the Superlarks don't want to lose. She was so effective early in this ball game and has still been effective. She's not been scoring, but has done a lot of other things well. Wisecup, jump shot on the way. This one is off the iron, too strong, and Benson goes up to get the rebound. Benson feeds it ahead. Simpkins, her shot just throws up a prayer after contact, won't fall, and the rebound is tapped up and put in. I believe that was Swanson who got the final touch. Dennis, front court. 14-point game again. Here's Gilbertson, runner is good. First points of the second half for Gilbertson. Back the other way comes Grand Meadow. Gomer swings it around, finds Simpkins. Simpkins for Fallhaber. Now Gomer down low, Swanson with the finish. Good ball movement that time by the Superlarks.
They're getting that post-to-post look every time. It's working really well for them.
Here's Gilbertson with a drive at the other end, aggressive, too strong, and the rebound taken by Grand Meadow. Into the front court now. Gomer picks up her dribble up high for Simpkins and throws it away. Wilson will come back in, along with Leichnam and Alex Swanson. 6:04 to play here in the second half. Laura Erickson back in for the Ramblers. She'll take the place of Laura Bowlin. Grand Meadow just keeps hanging around. 14 is about as close as they're able to get it. Awfully tough to make a big run to get back into the game, especially against a team with Cotter's quality. Gilbertson out of the wing. Dennis shot off the front of the rim, short. Rebounded by Grand Meadow. Benson trying to get a handle on it. Now she'll try and push the tempo. Alex Swanson in the front court. Pulls up top of the arc. Near side down low. Wilson has that taken away by Gilbertson. Good front defense. Ramblers will try and set up and run their half court here. How patient do you want to be right now? Milk this clock a little bit.
Exactly, you know, your only shot you're going to want to take
is a three.
after that one. I was going to say a layup.
Same thing as you. Someone forgot to tell Laura Erickson. Green light to shoot there and hits the three. Laura Erickson having a big night as well. 16 points for the Ramblers. So a lot of players have stepped up with Gilbertson getting in foul trouble, especially on the scoring end in the second half. Wisecup and Erickson.
No, and that's what makes Cotter such a good team is they're not just focused on one player. When someone needs to step up, they'll do it, and they'll do it in a big way.
Here's Wisecup again aggressively on the boards. Off the miss from Gilbertson, long-range jump shot missed, and rebounded by Benson. Into the front court now is Grand Meadow. Now Benson, I think if you're the Superlarks, you want to get back to trying to get that ball to Benson. Benson off a screen. Feeds it inside, now back out Benson, three-point shot on the way, this one's no good. Rebound, Wilson puts it back up over Gilbertson, won't fall. Scramble for the loose ball, and Dennis comes away with it. This is rough and tumble inside. Pecorino at the other end leaves it for Erickson. Erickson with the layup. Big second half for Laura Erickson. 13 points I have her for in the second half, 18 on the game. Alex Swanson now for Benson. Now the ball down inside for Leichnam. And now Grand Meadow goes to the perimeter. Benson, little floater inside. Wilson, one-hander no good, and Erickson to clear the boards. Well, Cotter is really once again shutting Benson down. She had that hot streak for much of this half. Hasn't been able to get anything going.
Getting more pressure, playing closer up on her. It's really making her frustrated. She's not able to make her shots. And she's getting tired as well.
Foul going to be called here. The foul is going to be called against Fallhaber, her second. Substitutes coming back in for the Ramblers. Wassinger is in. Sarah Speeton will come in for her first action of the night. Lauren Bowlin and Nikki Byer in. Speeton's been out with a infection in her toe, I believe it was. So good to see her healthy enough to get back out on the court here. Talented sophomore. Here's a kick. Another thing this tournament is nice for is developing that depth, because as you get farther into the season, certainly you want to have fresh legs.
Exactly. Give some players a look who haven't gotten the chance as much, and see what they can do to help the team out.
Real confidence builder too, to get that playing time in a game like this. Ramblers will spread the floor out a little bit here. This has got to be one of the more frustrating things to play, whether you're the defending team or the attacking team. With the ball, you want to score.
Exactly.
Right? Patience, patience, patience. When you're the defending team, of course, you're thinking, when do we need to start fouling? At this point, a 19-point game, I'm not sure how much fouling we'll see. Wassinger puts up a runner. That's no good, but rebounded by Lauren Bowlin. And Cotter will just go back here to the stall.
Important here, too, to keep your composure and not turn over the ball.
Good shots again. We talked about that, wanting to take smart decisions on the shot. Meyer there turns it over, throws it away, looking for Speeton in the corner. And back the other way comes Grand Meadow. Front court now, Super Larks down low. Benson, her shot is good. What a second half. 26, I believe, of the night now for Benson. Ramblers back into the front court now, under 2 minutes to play in the game. Looks like Cotter will head to a championship game on Thursday night. There's a jump ball situation as Dennis ties it up with Gomer. The championship game on Thursday night against St. Paul Johnson. Back to the bench here for the Ramblers. Emily Skeels will get a chance to check in here, another good freshman player. Lauren Bowlin steps in. Now Byer. And now Grand Meadow going to go to the bench as well here. 1:27 to play. Well, Devin, your thoughts in general. Here's Benson with the steal here. Benson will get her 28 points. And a timeout's going to be taken. It looks like, so we'll take a break here. We'll get your thoughts when we come back. 68-53, Ramblers in the lead. Timeout on the floor. We're back with more after this.
Hey, did you see that game last night?
What's that supposed to mean?
Nothing, just asking if you saw the game.
Hey everybody, look at this guy question my fanhood.
Does your fanhood need questioning?
Son of a gun!
Watch more live sports online than ever before on ESPN360.com and never let them question your fanhood.
Back here at McCown Gymnasium, Dave Williams and Devin Bowlin with you. Cotter up 68-53 with a minute 15 to play. Ramblers have the ball. And Devin, we started to ask you before the break, your impressions tonight of the Ramblers. It was a pretty dominant first half, and really in the second half, Grand Meadow made some runs, but never able to really threaten.
Yeah, Cotter kind of fell apart there on defense for a little while, but then they picked it up. The bench played great. You know, everyone contributed what they needed to do, and that's what makes Cotter successful. And for Grand Meadow, Benson, I was very impressed with her play, and she really stepped up and kept her team in it and kept them close enough to make Cotter worry about the game.
Benson, who's averaging 19.3 a game, was quiet in the first half, but really exploded in the second. Had just 6 points at halftime. Finishes with 28 for the game, so she scores 22 points in the second half of this ball game. And you're right, really an outstanding player. We're impressed with her, just a junior. But a couple of players you mentioned stepping up for the Ramblers, and these are two starters who stepped up. Laura Erickson and Whitney Weiskopf really doing the job as Jenny Gilbertson had foul problems all night. Speeton with a drive here. And Sarah Speeton looks to get in the book. And does so. And that is going to about wrap it up. So Winona Cotter comes away with a win here tonight. 72-53 is the final score. The Ramblers defeat Grand Meadow. And for Cotter, an impressive performance all around, although as Devin mentioned, some lapses on defense, which I'm sure will be addressed, perhaps some fatigue coming out of the holiday as well. What do the Ramblers need to do now coming out tomorrow night against St. Paul Johnson to get refocused?
They're going to have to keep that defensive pressure throughout the entire game, not have any mishaps like tonight. You know, if you let a team like St. Paul Johnson get back in it, they're going to take advantage and really pull ahead. Cotter has to stay aggressive and really look to attack the basket.
And we'll have that game for you tomorrow night here on HBC. That will be the championship game in this bracket as the Ramblers will take on St. Paul Johnson here from McCown Gym on Thursday evening. Your final score again tonight, the Ramblers defeat Grand Meadow 72-53 is the final. Strong games tonight from Whitney Wisecup and Laura Erickson. In particular, Jenny Gilbertson as well early had a quiet second half as she was in foul trouble much of the second half, but a pretty good all-around performance for Cotter. For our crew back in the truck and our camera operators, and for Devin Bowlin here, this is Dave Williams saying thanks for joining us. We'll see you tomorrow night.
What all can you do?
I can work side by side with professors who are committed to teaching.
I can choose from over 80 programs to find the right one for me.
I can get hands-on experience in my field.
I can be a
part of something big. I can get inspired.
I can get inspired.
I can get inspired.
Winona State University. What can you do?